I'm going to need someone to phone Iandla Van Zandt because my life needs fixing. Okay, it is 10 minutes after 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm out here looking like Michael Phelps with my pink duke. I'm trying not to sound hoarse, so I have some ginger and honey tea, and I just squeezed some more fresh lemon because I'm not trying to sound like Shrek out here in these streets. If you're new to this channel, yes, thanks for watching. This is Natalie as I am. Please do subscribe. Every subscription actually does matter to me. Every like, every comment matters. It makes me super excited, and I always love to engage people, so just do the things. Don't be saying ach man. So the purpose of this video is to catch you guys up on my weekend. There was no way I couldn't have, and I know it sounds like I'm about to act like I went to some hip concert or something drastic happened, but it actually wasn't. All I did was hang in the company of aunties, and that is the secret I'm going to give you today, is why it is important to hang around aunties. I'm being serious, or grown folk. You know, there's always this concept when we were growing up, or at least like in my sort of community, where as a child you were told hope tanatel, you know. So basically, direct translation, stop counting teeth, stop being in the conversations of grown folk because you're too young, you're not allowed to be young. And I wonder, I think that was actually quite, we missed out on a lot. Can you imagine if we were involved, not in everything grown folk related, but if we were at the center of conversations, how much we would have learned? Because I'm telling you, I was the one who even volunteered because my mom went to go and visit a friend whose son was just in a car accident, so we went to go and see her, and I was the one who said to her, actually, listen, I want to go with, please let me know when you go and visit so and so and so. And we're going to fetch my mother's other friend to go to this friend whose son was in a car accident now. And I'm chauffeuring the ladies around because I just love to be around them. They're super fun. And also because I'm a tea lover, it's not an odd thing. With young people, when I bring up that I need tea, suddenly it's like the side eyes, and it's like, oh, how old are you? So with them, there's like no judgment. So we get to my mom's friend's house who we're visiting, and obviously, I mean, she's quite stressed. The son has been in an accident, you know how it goes, especially if you're a parent and that has happened to your child, and he's in hospital and he needs to undergo surgery at some point, but thank God he's alive and the people he was traveling with. And I'm telling you, I knew I would have a good time because as much as I'm the youngest there, I knew I would have a good time because I can't tell you what it is that I enjoy being around grown folk. They are flippin' funny, the jokes are hilarious, and the stories, consider it like an off-camera story time for grown folks and adults. When I tell you, there's recurring themes wherever I go, especially with grown folk. And I just wanted to point out a few things that I take away from that conversation. Number one, there was once again this emphasis on women and being independent, because man can say one thing, tomorrow he turns around and it's another thing. And my mom's friend actually made such a valid point. She said she's got a son. She said, I've got a son and I love him and he is my son, but at the end of the day, he's still a man. And I thought to myself, geez Louise, even mothers feel that way about their sons, that yes, we love them, they are sons, but at the end of the day, you're still a man, you're unpredictable. People are unpredictable in general, but this was obviously from a female's perspective, and it was their own personal stories that they were sharing, and how they enforced once again how important it is to have your independence as a woman. And also, my mom's friend mentioned that when you find someone, just ask them one question. And this applies if you're established and you know you've got your own place. Ask them, are you looking for love or are you looking for accommodation? And that'll tell you a lot, because you would think that men have been socialized that I need to be the provider, I need to provide a roof and blah 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 blah. And there's a lot of men who are actually looking for established women and are targeting them and seeing, oh shoot, what can I gain here? So you'll have men who want to stay with you because they have free accommodation, their water and lights are paid for, their washing is done, they get cooked meals, or whatever the case may be. And I thought, geez Louise, people are very observant. The point there was that men are actually watching you. They are looking at what it is they can gain from the situation. They're analyzing. It doesn't seem that way, but they're analyzing, what sort of family setup is this? Do I gain some riches here? You know, there's a lot of thought process that goes behind it. So just be careful. That's what I learned anyway. Not that all men, it's disclaimer, not all men are that way. It's just based, I think, on a lot of the experiences. Another one was how it's important as a young person to go and do stuff. Live your damn life. With them, they said they never had the wisdom that we have today. So obviously they ended up married early, and there's nothing wrong with that. They ended up with babies sooner, maybe sooner than they would have liked, because they had dreams and they had goals, and the world just didn't seem like that was the way to go. So another one is go out, live your life, enjoy. There was another point that was interesting to me. Girlfriends shouldn't act like wives or mothers to their boyfriends. And I thought, what in the world does that mean? What does that mean? Don't act like a wife. So you've got to be able to not take complete responsibility for your partner. That's what I was gathering, and I thought, oopsies, and I thought, wow, that's interesting, because how do you draw the line between, shucks, I'm being a wife here, let me be a girlfriend, oh shit, I'm acting too much like a mother here, am I being too caring, let me step back. So it was not taking responsibility for things that your partner's parents should take responsibility for, you know, which I found was quite interesting. But obviously dynamics are different for everybody, you know, but that was just very much a blanket statement, and they're very blunt and they come from old school, which I love. So I take all of this wisdom with me and I appreciate it so much. I keep bumping my camera. And then there was another point that had to do with friendships. They said not everybody's happy for you. You think that people who are in your circle, people who smile with you, now I'm gonna even go as far as to say people who look like they're happy for you and applaud you and the work you do, you think these people are happy for you and they're not happy for you. Very rarely have I met people who have a whole group of friends and all of those friends were loyal. I know people who've had large groups of friends and friendships have dissolved over years, naturally, as they should have, because surely when you're growing and you're progressing and you're at different phases of your life, you start to, or that person starts to reveal things about themselves. They start to reveal that they're not on the same journey as you, and it's actually worrying. I'm just gonna say, I know this sounds weird, but if you're not losing friends, it's actually worrying. And I mean friends in terms of people who, like extroverted people who always have large crowds around them and they know so many people. I think the nature is you're going to lose friends, and not everybody's happy for you. And we need to understand that, because if you're someone like me, I can be very, unfortunately, I can be naive and think, just because they're laughing and smiling with me and they seem polite, surely that means they don't have it in for me, you know, in my mind, in my silly mind. And I think I'm one of those people. I have to first go through tragedy, and people have to really kind of do me wrong in order for me to learn life lessons, because I think to a certain degree I've just been boxed and I've been in a bubble, not so much exposed to the outer world, and I'm learning as I go. Even at age 27, there's a lot I don't know, there's a lot that I'm inexperienced in, but when things hit me, they hit me hard, because it's like I've been just in my own cocoon for so long. Dry throat. I've been in my own cocoon for so long. And even my mother shared how her mother, my granny, would say to her, stop thinking. She'd say, stop thinking the people smiling with you are your friends, or that they want to see you happy. And you know what I'm learning now at 27 regarding, it's not even just friendships, just not believing that everybody has my best interests at heart. Maintain a smile, be polite, don't change your character, but be very, very vigilant. So essentially play the game. So it's almost like I actually know exactly what's going on here. I know that you don't have my interest at heart, but guess what? I'm still gonna smile. I'm not gonna be silly, I'm not gonna be stupid, I'm not gonna allow anything for you to do anything to me. But as long as you know, just be vigilant, but don't allow them to change your character. And even linked to that is the last point that I learned in my anti-social circle, is that, yeah, even at work, at the workplace also, people don't have good intentions. One of the ladies shared this story, heartbreaking story, of how she fought for someone for a position in her industry, and there was a very, very deserving, extremely deserving educator that but she was fighting for. This was a deserving, a qualifying, everything teacher who needed this position, and she fought and she fought and she fought, and she got a lot of pushback, and people had their own agendas, and she didn't realize that. And eventually she got it right, the necessary support after much struggle, and got this teacher into this post. And not long story short, everyone turned around on her. The very lady who fought, the very lady who was in this position, was fought for, turned around and backstabbed this lady who fought for her, basically, in a nutshell. She said, you know, generally she's someone who's quite reactive. So if someone says this, she says that. If someone says that, she says that. You know, people know just how they press this button, she reacts. And then she said there just came a day where she was like, nah, actually I can't. I'm going to center myself. I'm going to center myself. And I'm going to come back the next day. I'm going to smile. You people aren't going to take anything away from me. Somehow she said just calmness came over, you know, calmness that only can come from God, in true honesty, especially in those situations. And the lesson there is, don't let people change your character, and God will elevate you. He really will. When people try and put you down, people think they've kind of got a hold over your life, or they can control your life. And it was only to find out that a lot of corruption was happening. That's why people got, you know, positions and posts and stuff like that. That's why people were put into positions. And this very lady was detailing a story. It was so qualifying, as years of experience, and they didn't even shortlist her. And she said, you know what, it's all good. And I just thought to myself, those are things that I'm taking forever. And when grown folk, I don't even want to say old folk, because people just switch off when you say old people. When grown, experienced people speak, listen. In fact, I urge you to put yourself in those conversations deliberately. Just spend time, even if you're male, go and spend time in the circles of uncles and just listen to the different opinions. Now, even if it's, know what not to take as well, because you get a lot of grown folk that, to be honest, just talk nonsense. It's nothing of value, and if anything, it's destructive. We know uncles in our community that up until this day and age, you just like, really, dude, at your age, really. But it's actually important to be in those circles so you know what to avert. Be observant. Don't be too impressionable. Be vigilant. Know what to take away. Know what to discard. Know what will advance your life. But I'm actually urging people to place yourself in those circles with grown folk. We don't always have to deliberately fall into holes when there's people there who've had the experience or willing to share their experiences, and you don't have to make the mistakes. You don't have to, because they've done that. So take heed. Very interesting. So that is my, I guess, nighttime bedtime story. My bed isn't made what's the time now? It's almost 2:30 in the morning, I mean. Once again, please do leave your comment. On a serious note, comments actually matter to me. Conversation matters more. If you've grown up in an environment where you were told, Hope Danatel, children must be seen, not heard, do you think it helped or hindered us? Let me know. Danatel, yes, no, will you be allowing your child to count teeth one day? Actually, now as they're growing up, do you allow them to sit in your circles, or do you just feel like, no, grown folk and child folk is a no, off to the kiddies table you go. Also, please just give it a thumbs up. Genuinely, just give this video a nice thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time as I continue being Natalie as I am, and quite lastig at that also.